Joe and Hampton, lights dim, it's game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line. Stick lounge, stories unfold, real and raw. From hustlers to dreamers, breaking laws with a claw. Microphone warriors, capturing life's conflicts. Sitting across legends, tales flick like black picks. Drop bars, not mics, knowledge, it rains. From the streets to the beats and empty veins.
All right, Stick Lounge Podcast coming to you guys from Des Moines, Washington. How's everyone doing? What's going on, Hap? How's Creole doing, buddy?
Creole is hanging on by threads, but we hanging.
Yeah, we hanging?
Yeah. So
Looked like you were busy yesterday, though.
Yeah, it's the last minute, 8 o'clock.
Had them pirates show
A
up.
bunch of pirate comes in the house. So I just thank Kim Griffin for that visit.
There you go.
And but moving on, starting on the 27th of this month, we will be doing Sunday brunch, and it's by reservation only. You need to go online or call the shop and make your reservation. Leave a message if nobody answers. We're looking forward to that. And also,
You had a pretty good response from that so far?
yeah, got to figure,
We're getting the word out.
definitely getting
Get
the word out. But let's not jump too soon. We got the 25th, we have Michael Powers
Yep.
up here in the lounge. Tickets are available online. It's 35 people.
Yep.
You don't want to be number 36 because you won't get in.
And it's starting to fill up pretty good, too.
Yeah, so make sure you go online, purchase your ticket. If you need the app, PayPal app, hey, hit me up. I'll send it to you. And we're looking forward to that. First event with music.
In the lounge.
You got wine tasting, and you got a Creole Soul buffet as well. So
Good stuff, good stuff.
just looking forward to that night. So
Worth the
don't
money.
forget.
Good
So,
cause, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got everything covered for that so far, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's so.
You want to talk about blues?
Talk about what?
The blues. You forget it every time.
Yeah,
You know
I
that?
sure do. My
It's okay. You're a busy guy.
my Thursdays. Okay, so let's go to Thursdays. Starting on July 31st, which is a Thursday, we're going to have a live mic blues night. So,
Open mic blues night.
yeah, open mic blues night. So make sure,
Hot mic.
yeah, if you're talented and you want to show off, come on. Creole Soul, 22341 Marine View
Challenge.
Drive. We got a house band, Supersonic Soul Pimps, I think that's what they call.
The Supersonic Pimps, right?
Soul Pimps.
Soul Pimps.
Yeah.
Supersonic Soul Pimps.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And that event goes from 7 to 10:30. So
Got to be a soul pimp. You can't just be a
yeah, you
pimp.
just can't be a pimp. Yeah. Open blues mic
Yeah.
night. So come on, because I'm gonna do a couple of them with myself. So you might want to. You might.
You been practicing? You been working on those pipes?
Yeah, I've been working on my pipes. So
Get the me.
I gotta get it. Fa la 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 la. And
Well, okay, you got to change tone when you do that. You know, right?
Then I've been watching Bobby Blue Land. And
All right.
BB King.
Yeah.
All those guys. Just,
Dizzy Gillespie, you got to get bigger cheeks.
don't even know that. But I'm ready. I'm always ready. So
Yeah, that'll
blues
be fun.
night.
That'll be fun.
First night, July 31st at Creole Soul
July 31st. Don't miss out. And that's come one, come all. Show up and rock the mic, right?
in the alley.
All
That's
right.
Backstage alley.
Reservations for the Michael Powers thing on the 25th. Reservations for Sunday brunch. But blues, show on up every Thursday.
Yeah.
You're tracking.
Yeah. I'm thinking you say Sunday brunch for Michael Powers.
No. I was saying the 25th, Michael Powers in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stick Lounge.
Yeah.
Reservation only.
Yeah. Reservation only.
Sunday brunch.
Reservation only.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thursday open mic
Thursday
blues.
might just come free fall.
All right. there
Come
we
on
go.
your skateboard if you got to.
There you go. now it's going to be like an electric something, an electric bike. They have electric skateboards though.
I had one summer. I had about 30 electric scooters out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that like a scooter crew or
I
something?
don't know, but there was about 30
It was
of
a
them.
scooter gang?
Pile up out there. I was like, oh, man,
Is that a biker bar? No, that's
Get
an
me one
electric
like
scooter
this.
bar. You don't want to mess with those electric scooter guys, man. You know Michelle's husband, Lamont?
yeah.
He rode around one of those two-wheel, it's like a hoverboard, but like more high-tech. You seen the ones that the kids use? So it was like one of those, but more high-tech, and he works at Alaska, which isn't far. He was riding that thing to work every day, and he wrecked it. and he never wrote it again. He was bruised up, man. He was hurt.
Sure.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, just to get on that thing just is painful. I wouldn't even get on it.
I saw him writing it, and I'm like, nope. No, I'm not going to try that.
And I think I got pretty good balance, even with a bad lead.
Yeah, we're going to keep you off of that for a while, all right? We don't need you laid up again, okay?
No, laid up cost me.
Yeah.
I'm still paying for it. Trust me.
Yeah,
I'm
for
still
sure.
paying for it.
You want to give a little bit more detail on the Michael Powers up in the lounge, because that's a benefit thing we got.
Yeah,
going
that's
on.
a homeless benefit. So, guys, if you can, we ask that you guys come and participate and show good cause for such a great cause.
Yeah.
For the homeless. Because, with or without you, I'm going to do it. But I would really, really appreciate some help, because everything is going up.
Mm-hmm.
And
It never gets cheaper, huh?
It's tough to be out there in that cold.
Yeah.
And to be hungry at the same time. If you've never been there, just try. Just participate one time. Don't eat and go outside and stand out there in the corner and see what it feels like. So anyway, we look forward to that. If you can participate, I'm going to start early this year collecting donations for the homeless. So don't be surprised if you get something and say, hey, can you help out?
No,
because I'm coming at you.
All right, there you go. You might get blindsided. Well, you can't really miss Ham, so you're not really going to get blindsided. But from about a half a mile away, when you see him walking up, you'll be like, "What's this guy want?" But don't move too fast. He's still got that knee he's working on. So,
man, my knee hurts so bad. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, how you doing, man? PT's finished up, right?
Yeah, PT's finished up, but it's so sore.
Yeah,
just painful. I'm not gonna lie, but you gotta do what I gotta do. So
yeah. You were real close to that 2-week mark, like you said when you.
What?
I'm talking shit. He said, "Oh wait, I'm talking." Ham said, "I said you're getting a knee replacement." He goes, "Yeah." Well, how long are you going to be down, man? A couple weeks. I was like, a couple weeks, man.
Hey,
I don't know.
That's playing basketball in me, when you're constantly working on you every single day to get you back in the game, give me some shots.
Yeah.
Like that,
you needed a guy on the sideline there.
I need to sure did.
You need a guy on the bench.
Yeah, I sure did.
Hit you with that, what is it, cortisone or whatever they give him?
He's all right. Get back in the game.
There you go. There you go.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm paying for it. Financially,
physically,
painfully. It's coming out.
That's all right. It was the right move, man. It had to be done. It had to be done. I saw you
like
standing there at a time, and it did. I mean, you'd be standing there, and all of a sudden your knee would just buckle. Like, that's not good, man. You can't have that.
Yeah. So I regret that I did it for the reason of time I did it, but my wife said you had to get it done, so you just wanted to get it done now and deal with it accordingly. So
there you go. And we got a lot of I say we, but I'm just always here. But this is you. You got a lot of stuff going on. Things are gonna be turning up. People are gonna be showing up.
They have to. It better.
Well, it's not like you're not doing anything to drive it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. So everybody come out, check out Creole Soul, see what all we got going on. There's a lot going on. Yeah. For the lounge, right now I'm just gonna push August 30th. Other than the Michael Powers thing that we got going on up here. Hopefully, I'm still working on the show and shine stuff. Still waiting on a couple car guys to get back to me.
Me too. I just called another guy yesterday, so he's supposed to get back to me.
Yeah, everybody I talked to is like, man, that'd be so awesome. Let's do it. It's gonna be so much fun. Let me talk to my car group and I'll get back to you. And then I get, wait, where is it? Oh, wait, that's not it. That's what I get. Yeah. That's what I get from the car guys. So we're working on it, guys. But the plan is to have the show shine August 30th, Creole in the lounge open. So both spaces will be rocking. Again, want to do kind of a Grease thing upstairs, have the movie on, the soundtrack, maybe some Pink Ladies and T-Birds would be fun. But that's the plan. One other thing I want to say, dude, I went crabbing today. Yeah. I struck out, bro. First time since I've been here that I went out crabbing and didn't bring anything back. I was trying to get you some fresh dungies for some seafood gumbo, man.
we know who stopped that.
Who stopped what?
From getting
yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, my wife. Yeah.
You don't need to eat this.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. That's the first time I've gone out. Caught some flounders, caught some rockfish, but not well. We did bring some crab in, but they were all females and they were all too small to keep. And that's the first time. Usually I come back limited out and nothing. So is what it is. Anything else, Hamp, before we jump?
No. Let's go on and get our guests in here and go from there.
We got our guest, Tina Orwall. How you doing, Tina?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. I know you're a busy person, so really appreciate you coming in. So I want to give you a proper introduction. You are a state senator?
Yes.
Correct. And you are now Speaker pro tempore. Did I say that correctly?
I was when I was in the House.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For
Okay.
many years. And
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I was appointed to the Senate. Karen Kaiser, after 30 years of service, stepped down, and I was appointed to her seat.
Now, when that happened, were you kind of blindsided, or was that something that you knew was a potential, or?
Well, she had been talking about retirement for a few years, and
Okay.
it certainly interested me to go to the Senate side.
Okay.
I loved it on the House. Senate is awesome.
Yeah.
You get more staff.
There you go.
You have more staff. You have a smaller group of people to work with. and
Nice.
Everybody gets along really well.
That's cool. That's good to hear. That's
I know
really good
people
to hear.
don't realize that.
No.
We actually work really well together.
Well, you know, and I think TV doesn't do well for politics. It's
Yeah.
always high stress, and everybody's always backstabbing each other. And and I'm not into any of the political scenes at all, so who knows how it actually is. But most of the people that we talk to on here have pretty good relationships with each other and play well together, and
Absolutely.
so that's good. That's good to hear.
That's how you get things done.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, you can't get nothing done fighting.
That's
No.
very true.
No, just a bunch of Band-Aids.
Yep.
And we always brag at the state we get a lot done. So.
There you go. That's good. That's good. So you were born in, if I did my research correctly, you were born in Florida, correct?
That is correct.
All right. When did you move to Washington?
Well, we lived in Florida. I think I was 3 when we moved. And then
Okay.
I lived in Nebraska, Colorado. And then we moved to Washington, to Whidbey Island when I was in 8th grade.
Whidbey Island. Wow.
Yeah,
So what
so-
brought you guys to dad work, or what was it?
My dad owned fast food franchises.
Nice.
And
Lucrative business.
and he had partners, and they kind of moved across the country. And
Can I ask which franchise, or
Burger King.
Burger King?
Yeah.
I do like
I
me a
worked there.
flame broiled burger.
I just had one yesterday.
I worked there from 13 to 18, so I know all the fast food stuff.
There you
so,
go.
Yeah.
So were you like the daughter of the owner, special treatment?
Owner, dog. Hey, I did not get special treatment.
That's
That
good.
is a
That's
myth.
good.
That is a myth.
Hey, I just asked it. So you had to earn it. You had to
I
earn
did.
it. Okay,
They
that's
worked
good.
me hard.
That's good. So
Well, at
you,
least you did it.
Yeah.
so why Whidbey Island?
You know, it's interesting. Actually, my dad's mom, my grandmother, who I never knew, started the 4th Burger King in Hialeah, Florida.
Oh wow. Okay.
And my dad actually was a radio person in Chicago and TV. And when she got sick, he moved to Florida to take over the
No kidding.
restaurants. And so
What a jump.
I know. I think he
crazy.
missed it. I think that was a little hard on him.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think there's something about the franchises where, you know, you continue to grow. And so one day we were in Colorado, and him and his partner got out a map to decide where the next store was going. And they literally were looking at the map. And they looked at Whidbey Island, and my dad was a World War II vet. And, you know, military and supporting military was very important to him. Hung the flag every day. We all were trained of how to fold the flag properly.
Nice.
And he wanted to retire by a military base.
Okay.
And so that's how he picked Whidbey.
Because there is a base on
Yeah.
Whidbey, right? Is there currently a base there still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
A
not.
Navy
I haven't
base.
been. I've heard that though.
Yeah.
So, that's very
So
cool. Huh.
That's how we ended up there.
Very
And-
strange how people end up where they are sometimes.
know.
You know.
Isn't it?
And then to go from
Yeah.
radio to fast food. You know, if podcasting was a thing back then, he could have had his own setup and done something like
No,
this.
he had the total radio voice.
Did he?
He could walk in a room and his voice would beam. It's one of the
Nice.
things I miss when
It's-
I think about my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We've had a couple people in here, and when they jump on the mic, I'm like, "Damn, that guy's got a good voice." Nathan from Two Bar, man, that guy just blew me away.
Yeah, Nathan from Two Bar
Yeah,
for sure.
Awesome. So, now growing up, working at Burger King, and doing all those things, did you aspire to go into politics, or how did you get started?
I was so shy in high school.
Okay.
No one would have ever thought I would have entered politics.
No debate team, class president, nothing like that.
No.
Okay.
I was behind the scenes doing the yearbook pictures,
Okay.
right? Taking everybody else's
Oh,
pictures,
you was
right?
that you was that person.
That's right.
Going to the things,
I
but
did. But I got along with everybody, right?
Okay.
I worked hard. And, you know, it was really, you know, I'm a social worker. I worked, you know, 25 years in behavioral health, right?
Yeah.
So really it was almost a second career. entering politics.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so when you started doing social work, was that the direction that you originally just wanted to go to help people? And because you worked for the state in social work, is that correct?
Well, I worked a variety of places. I actually, when I started college at University of Washington, I wanted to be an FBI agent.
That's cool.
And I was pre-law.
That's cool.
And then I did an internship at a law firm on the base, and I did wills all summer. And I thought, I don't know if that's my calling, right? And my roommate in college, her dad turned out to be an FBI agent. So we spent a lot of time talking. And he's like, well, you got to have a law degree or an accounting degree and get prepared to spend a lot of time behind a desk. And so I ended up being a research peon, and I worked at the psychiatric unit at University of Washington Hospital.
Oh, that's wild.
And that's what drew me in.
Yeah.
And I just thought, was really, I felt really comfortable with all the work there, and I was kind of intrigued. And, all of our families, all of us at some point of our life, experience mental health issues. And so, it really, was an area that interested me. And, I just remember thinking, I got to change my career and be a social worker because you see all these systems that fail people, right?
Yeah.
They're designed, like if you look at the mental health system, often people are seeking help and they're traumatized, right? They end up unhoused, right?
Yep.
They end up in jails. They, end up boarded in an emergency room. So, how do we really support people that are struggling?
Yeah, we had a guy, Day Kelly's a friend of mine, and he's worked with the state for a long time. I guess it was some social work that he was doing, more of the mental health stuff, like as a therapist. But part of it was finding homes for people, and trying to get that done. And yeah, we had a long conversation about how difficult that is and how there isn't enough out there, and how if you have medical equipment, like say you need an oxygen tank or something, some of these places won't take you, and it's crazy. It's
Absolutely.
crazy. Hampton was talking about how he wanted to, at one point you said you wanted to open a facility, right, with a bunch of rooms for people?
Yeah, I want to find a building, open up a room.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I worked at the City of Seattle Office of Housing, we helped create like 1,000 units of housing first, which like you approach someone who's homeless, unhoused on the street, and, often they may have mental health or substance abuse issues, and you move them in a house, and then you wrap them services around them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the housing first model was very successful, moving many people off the street, but, we have such a housing shortage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything's so expensive and so many people on the edge. It's just, it's a complex issue.
Yeah. What I'd like to do, though, right now, as far as that concern, is, purchase an ambulance, fully equipped, and get the people to the hospital who can't afford the regular ambulance, Roll with them automatically and let it deal with it later, Get them off the street,
I don't know. I mean, that's awesome, but I think the issue with that is like a lot of the hospitals won't take them if they don't have insurance and stuff, though, right? I mean, you can't just drop them off there.
I think you can go into the emergency room.
No, that's true. That's true.
They have to see you.
They
Nah,
have
that's
to.
fair.
The
That's
COBRA laws,
Yeah,
especially.
They can't turn you away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, a group of us actually went down to Arizona because they have these called crisis relief centers, and they're like psychiatric emergency departments. And they have psychiatrists, nurse, they have people with lived experience, and basically law enforcement, EMS, fire, our families can just bring and drop people off at these facilities, and they're no wrong door, right?
Right.
And so they came back and did Prop 1 in King County. We worked on it at the state level with 988, and the first one opened up in Kirkland.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Connections, and anyone can walk through there.
That's funny. I'm in the construction space.
Yeah.
And I just bid a project to the Connections in Kirkland, actually. So, yeah, that's weird.
So that's our first
Okay.
crisis relief center. But
You know what? And they're very proud of that, too, because it didn't stick in my head what it was. But when I was talking to the guy, I talked to him over the phone initially and asking him what he wanted to done, what the project was. And he gave me about a 2-minute spiel on who they were and what they did. And it didn't really sink in at the time, but most places don't do that. They talk to me about what the project is they want me to do, and that's it. But he's like, well, we are one of the first places in. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like, they're very proud of it. So that's awesome.
and now we did get some vans funded through 988, which will be to take people to treatment centers.
Yeah.
Because, no one wants to go in the back of a police car.
Right.
No.
You know, none of us want or care that way. And so
Yeah.
these vans will take folks.
Yeah, I got a friend. She said we're working on. She said, "Don't worry, your ambulance coming." So all I'm just doing is sitting there waiting. She's putting it all together.
Man, you got too many projects.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So
He's always got something going.
hey, got to get him off the street.
Yeah.
That's true.
Got to
Yeah,
get him
big
off the
heart.
street.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, like 1 in 5 people that are homeless are veterans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You
that's
have a
very
lot
true.
of veterans. And,
Yeah.
and we're just seeing more and more families living in their cars. It's a crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. for
There's no
sure.
reason nobody really should be hungry.
Not in our
No,
country.
no, not here. Not at all. Should never be hungry.
Tina, can I ask real quick? And
Yeah.
I can cut this out. Do you mean to have your headphone flipped on the other side there? On your right side?
How's it flipped?
It's inside out.
I thought it felt.
Just flip it. I can cut this out. Don't worry.
I was like, why
I
does
was
it
looking
feel
at
so
it going,
different?
I'm like, man, she's a pro. I thought you were doing one of these. Like, I want to hear both. There you go.
It's
It might
just too
sound a little better too.
It's too technical for me.
I was sitting here going, wait a minute. That doesn't quite look right. Okay, we're back.
thank you.
Little technical issue. We're back, folks.
The,
We're
the
back.
sounds so much better. Thank
Yeah,
you.
when it comes to both sides, it helps.
Called stereo.
So Hamp just learned about it. He's still got mono everywhere. So
Yeah, I sure do. Hit the button.
before we keep moving with that, I forgot to ask, how did you two meet? Because Hamp is the one that said, "Oh, I got somebody we got to reach out to."
Well, I can tell you, she came down to Creole Soul one time, and she brought about 35 people with her, and
I
had
did.
and had
Okay.
a big shut that corner down by the door. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ordered a bunch of food and had a meeting with a bunch of important people, looked like to me. And that's how we came across each other. And then she came back again.
All right,
So,
cool. That's
yeah.
typically that's how I met Hamp, and now we have a podcast together. I went in for some catfish, and here we are. So
That's a catfish. That's what brought me in. I'm like, I ain't going. That's a catfish.
it is good catfish.
So yeah, I was like, I can get some. I said, let me get a hold of Tina. I can get a hold of Tina. She could do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had a party down there. She had a big meeting down there.
Well, he said, I know a senator we could ask to be on. I'm like, you do? I was like, what do you know?
Yeah, I know people. I'm just quiet, you know.
I mean, I'll be honest. I assumed at one point maybe you worked for Alaska Airlines because that's like a lot of the people that Ham knows used to work for Alaska Airlines. So
No.
No, we were all
Strong
very
community,
excited when Hampton opened the restaurant.
Yeah.
We're
Nice.
like, all right.
get some good Southern food down.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so you're doing your social work and everything is, I'm assuming, a little bit difficult, right? You're seeing roadblocks and all these things. You want to help people, but it's difficult to get done. It's a story that we've heard several times, even just on this podcast, but you hear it everywhere. Was that what kind of spurred you to move into politics, or how did that go?
It certainly was part of it.
Okay.
You know, I think
Inside out kind of thing?
a little bit. I worked doing involuntary inpatient at the Western State Hospital, helping people move out of corrections. And then I did more policy work for a number of years. So that certainly was something I wanted to do, was statewide policy. But really what got me interested was volunteering at my kids' school.
Oh, okay.
And
Like
I was an
school
art
board or just
I was an
volunteering?
art docent.
Oh, okay.
So I would go into the classrooms all the time and talk to the kids. And I felt like we were leaving a lot of students behind,
Right.
there, especially like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And also I saw the teachers were overwhelmed. They were underpaid. The classroom sizes were too big. And,
Yeah.
you know, I just think we have to figure out how every student has a career path, right? That they feel like there's next steps for them. And I just, was seeing, that we weren't opening up all the careers that are a possibility. And I saw that for my own son.
I was going to say I have 2 daughters, well, 3. My oldest lives in California with her boyfriend now, and she graduated from a culinary school, so she's in that
right.
path. My 20-year-old daughter is going to Wazoo for anthropology. And even within that, she's starting to have a moment where she's like, what am I going to do with this anthropology degree?
That's right.
And now Zoe, my youngest, just turned 18. She's a summer baby, but this will be her senior year at Federal Way High School. And she is stressed out about what she wants to do and what's next. And, I've always been that guy. It's kind of like, hey, one step at a time, make your plan, but don't stress. Like, if I've learned anything, life throws you a lot of curveballs. You got to learn to adjust to it and take the opportunities when they're there and everything else. And I'm very proud of my daughters, but I do see that stress in them on what am I going to do? You know, how do I make a living? How do I grow up? How do I afford a home now? You know,
I think it's a big question for a lot of young people. And I think there's so many great careers that don't need a 4-year degree, and everyone was being,
totally agree.
100%.
you know, steered in that direction. My son really struggled in high school. He ended up doing the Running Start program.
So did my middle daughter. Yeah.
And he's just like, college, that's not the right fit for me. And so we got him into a pre-apprenticeship program.
Nice.
And
I'm blue collar, so I'm going to give that a...
he's now local 46.
Nice.
He's
Good
an
for him.
electrician.
Good for
and
him.
it was life-changing for him.
Yep.
And so a lot of the work, even in Olympia, was trying to make sure that juniors and seniors could go to these pre-apprenticeship programs so that they could see, you know, additional options. So for me, that's really important.
Yeah, we went to one of the, I don't want to say it's a career fair, something like that the high school had. I forget the exact name of it, but there were trade schools there, which was awesome to see.
Yes.
You know, and I was even telling my youngest daughter, like, you can go and do a trade. I know lots of ladies that are in the trades, you know, and I will say for everyone that listens to this podcast, I have bought homes, vehicles, put my daughters through school, paid for my family's entire life while being a tradesman, while being a blue collar worker. And there's something to be said for that, because there's not, I can tell you now that I'm older and we're hiring people. It's really hard to find good guys out there, good people that want to work.
Well, you know, it's interesting. My daughter, who's a teacher now in the Highline School District, when she was at University of Washington, her brother taunted her, and he's like, they're paying me. right? I'm making money right now. You're not, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, it's hard work. You know, it's working with your hands. It's getting up early. It's being on the job sites, but you get paid for it.
Absolutely.
You get paid for it. Keeps you busy.
He's super good in math and physics.
That's great.
It's hard, these professions, and the direction they're headed. You really need to know those skills.
I've learned more in the trades than I ever learned in school. And I mean, Hamp can tell you, like, I can rewire stuff. I can do, you know, and there's a lot of things that I've learned on the fly that I never thought I would know, you know, but you got to learn how to do it. You got to make it work. So that's awesome. I like to hear that. I do, coming from where I came from. So you started that way in the school system and then kind of just progressed?
Yeah, you know, I ended up getting involved in the local Democrat group, right? Okay. I saw things happening at the national level that concerned me, and I didn't know who my elected officials were. And I'm like, how can I really, you know, hold them accountable or ask the right questions if I don't know who they are? And so I started attending those meetings, and I don't know, I turned around, I was like secretary, and then I was like the chair. And so it was an opportunity to meet all the elected officials in my area. And, you know, when an opportunity came up, when there was an open seat in the state House of Representatives, I decided I would jump and put my hat in the ring.
Okay, cool.
Knocked on 10,000 doors.
Yeah, a lot of work.
But you know, what I learned a lot, because it was it was 2009 at the start of the Great Recession. And especially in the area of Kent, but like I would knock on doors in a block, and I'd say 2 or 3 people were having trouble paying their mortgage. They were at risk to going into foreclosure. That's the first thing I ended up working on. Right.
And what year was this?
2009.
Okay, sorry.
And so it was kind of the peak of of people losing their houses. And what we learned is Washington didn't have a system in place.
Yeah.
People would call like the banks and they couldn't get anyone. They didn't know where to send in their paperwork. And so I worked with this really amazing group of people and with industry, and we came up with the Foreclosure Fairness Act, which was free housing counseling and also mediation. And so, you know, to be able to kind of work on that kind of project and to include community voices. Yeah. I had an awesome woman I worked with in Kent, and she was about to lose her home, and she also worked for one of the big banks. And she not only saved her house, but she went around helping other homeowners. And she was a key part of the bill.
No, that's awesome. And, you know, I lived in Arizona at the time, and young parents, me and my wife, we had my middle daughter in 2005. Zoe was born in 2007. 2008, we lost our home. And that was the bank, you know, giving us that 3-year arm. Didn't really know what we were getting into. That's right. And came back and readjusted everything after the 3 years and said, your house payment's going to be more than double what it is now. And I'm like, I can't afford that, I had 3 daughters at the time. And yeah. And I didn't, at that time, there wasn't any programs or really anybody to help.
No.
We let the house go and started renting and rebuilding the nest egg and doing all that stuff. And it was rough, but 2-3 years down the line, there are all these programs for people. And I'm like, what the heck, man? We were just out.
Yeah.
All kind of programs.
Yeah. That was a tough time. I remember
That was
time.
a lot of people lost their homes. And, that's like the most important asset that most of us will ever have is our house.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Take your house away, take your home away. What do you have,
Yeah. Well, it's different now, I think. I mean, I still 100% agree that it's an investment that you make for you and your family, and it's something that you can pass down or sell or whatever. A lot of people live off renting now, though. There's something to be said for people that just rent, and that's how they do it. I listened to a audiobook not too long ago about the strategy behind it. I don't remember everything on it, but there's a different path that some of the younger generations are taking now where they don't want to buy homes. It's kind of crazy.
And it's a balancing act. My daughter has a house, but they're pretty house poor.
Yeah.
You get pretty strapped in. I think the struggle with renting, and a lot of us have owned and rented, and you don't have a lot of control.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true.
Not only the cost, but sometimes you're asked to move out and you don't get much notice, and so it's not. I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there too.
So it's hard.
It is. Yeah,
No control whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never a fun thing to be investing in a property too, because you're even when you're renting. At least I'm that guy that I'm going to fix something if it's broken. You know what I mean? And that's not yours. You're not investing in it. So yeah. Owning property is definitely the way to go. So from there, you ran so that was legislature or?
Yes.
Okay.
So the state house.
Gotcha. And how long were you there?
Let's see, 16 years.
16 years in the same exact position. Like, okay. Did you enjoy it? Is that why you stayed so long or?
Yeah. What I really love about the job is like you see an issue going on in the community and you involve the community voice. It really, they can say what the issue is and what the solution is and be part of it in Olympia. We had a situation where a constituent in Normandy Park approached me, and, I never realized that hearing aids weren't covered by insurance. That seemed like a no-brainer to me, right?
Right.
And her son Hugo and his friends came to Olympia to testify on this bill and saying what it's like as a kid not to have a hearing aid. You're so isolated, right? And you can't learn and you feel left out.
Yep.
If you're an adult without a hearing aid, you're more likely to have dementia and be depressed. And so it was really the voice of Hugo and his friends that moved that legislation. And so at the end, we called it Hugo's Law. Now all the large insurance companies have to cover hearing aids.
So
wow, that's awesome.
It's fun. You're striking a lot of chords with me tonight. My youngest daughter is born deaf. And to get her cochlear implants was a battle because insurance does not cover it. And now they will cover portions of it, but it's still the way I understand it was it doesn't fall under like a prosthesis, but it also doesn't fall under medical durable. So it's in this gray area of where they don't like to cover things. It's gotten better though. It has. So
well, yeah, and we may have more work ahead, right? We had $3,000 per year per device every 3 years, but
yeah, it's better than nothing. It's definitely better than nothing.
We can keep working on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that's a tough one, man. That's a community that I was thrown into when my daughter was born that I knew nothing about, and yeah, that's a struggle for a lot of them. So
yeah, and see, it's your family that has the voice of what's not working and what's working, what needs to be changed. I had another constituent approach me last year because her mom had been in a facility for dementia care, and she would go in and her mom would be soiled and not taken care of. And we realized that assisted living, they weren't registering. We didn't really have the oversight of those facilities that we needed to. And so she came with a bunch of families, and we worked with DSHS, and now they have to be registered and they have to be trained and oversight. So again, it's another example where the community comes forward, we identify, we bring a group together and find a path forward.
No, that's good. Yeah. It's very good. So do you find that you got a lot done there, but you're getting more done in your current position, or?
Well,
because it sounds like you did a lot.
No, and I love the work I do. And I think what's an advantage of being in the Senate is I have 2 more staff.
Okay.
which means that I can respond more quickly. I can set up more planning meetings. You know, I like to do planning year round with the community. I like to go to community events. And so the additional staff is really helpful. We're also a smaller group, right? There's 49 versus 98. And so I think we know each other better. We all get along. We work really well across the aisle. And I think it's a smaller group, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's helpful.
That's awesome. What would you say is the path for someone that wants to get into politics? If someone's listening right now and they're like, I'd really like to be more involved in my community, where would they start?
Well, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunities in the community, in the schools and nonprofits. They can certainly get involved in their local, either Democrat or Republican, you know, entities, and they exist at a legislative level, at the county level. But you know, I think there's so many opportunities, and one of the things I do is I go into middle schools and high schools and I do legislative Jeopardy.
Oh, really?
And you know, it's like a real Jeopardy game, right?
That should be interesting.
And I divide them in groups. And
Don't do it with us.
They get prizes, and I always tell
cool.
them, you know, at the end, you know, go home and quiz your parents. You might know more about state government, right?
I would assume so.
And that their voice matters. And so I think there's so many ways to get involved. And, you know, people don't realize if you go down and testify in Olympia, it makes a huge difference.
Right.
And if you look locally, you know, there's school boards, there's your local cities, there's legislative, there's all kind of opportunities. In our area, the port's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, for
We're
sure.
really impacted by the airport. So there's community groups that do great work. So again, you know, I think it's finding what really are you passionate about? What do you think your skill set is? And how do you align those things?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've tried to teach my kids too, you know, there's a period when a bill's being passed, right, where you can comment and things like that. And I will go online and I have a portal and I will, you know, whether it's a positive or a negative view that I have towards the bill, why I think it should pass or why it shouldn't, I'll comment on it, you know, and my kids are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, this is how you can't sit back and complain about things that you don't contribute for. I guess that's the way I see it. I can't sit back and be angry about something that I didn't even take the 10 minutes to send an email off for. You know what I mean? So I also showed them like the voting pamphlets.
Yes.
You know, the last presidential election. You know, kids are like, are you voting Democrat or Republican? I'm like, let me show you something real quick. Look at all these candidates that you don't hear about, you know? And it blew their mind. They're like, well, how come we don't hear about these people? Well, you know, they don't have the money or the backing of the big parties, or it is this or that or the other. But a lot of people don't realize that kind of stuff. I think it's important, you know.
Absolutely. And we just want people to know their voice matters.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always say I can drop like the perfect bill, perfect policy, but it's stories and people sharing that move a bill.
Yeah.
Right.
sure.
That really is what makes a difference. And
Yeah.
so I try to engage early. And when I go to the middle school and high school, we have pages in Olympia. And so I'm always trying to recruit pages. And a number of pages will go on and either be staff or serve in the legislature too. So I think it's letting them know that's their legislature, right?
Right.
We work for you.
Right. And that's a big thing that I try to tell the younger kids is realize that they were here to work for us.
That's right.
You know, sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but it's an important thing, I think, for sure.
Absolutely.
What about you, Hamp? You ever comment on a bill?
No. I like on the dollar bill. Can you add another one on top of it?
No, we've been learning a lot about local politics recently. We've had some city council members on, and go ahead.
I just listen, you know. I'm a good listener, so you listen and you learn a lot. So. Don't
You
wanna
see
make-
Hamp out there picketing.
Don't
for
want to
something.
make a bad comment, No, especially if I know what I'm talking about.
That's true. People do that all the time, though, to be fair. There's a lot of people that have even commented on our stuff, and they've gone off. I'm like, this is a local city council member. Like, you got to calm down. This isn't something federal. They can't control any of the things that you're upset about right now, you know? So there's a little bit of, I'd say, I don't want to say ignorance, but a lack of education there that I think needs to be out there. And I guess they're bringing civics back to school, which is good.
Yes, I think that's long overdue.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was a great class.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize they still had it. And then, because I don't think I went through it. And then my daughter's curriculum for her senior year has civics in it. So that's good.
Yes.
You need to know these types of things.
Absolutely.
So you're running for re-election.
Yes.
Is there anything hanging out there right now that you would be very upset if you, let's say you didn't win, knock on wood, but like a bill or something where you're like, I really want to get this done?
There's a couple things that there's probably three things I would mention.
Okay.
The first is I've been working on 988.
Okay.
We were one of the first states to actually implement it. And
Now, what is 988?
988 is a 3-digit number that anyone can call, and you get a clinician. So you can call, text, or chat. And so we got our system up and running. And it's especially important. We have a lot of youth that are struggling. And so when we got
for like mental health?
mental health,
Gotcha.
yes. And so I think when that line got up and running, we've had like 1,000% increase of texts. And those are young people struggling,
Right.
who can talk to a clinician. And so the kind of the vision is you have a place to call, someone to respond, and a place to go. And we're just getting those components up and running. So the 988, it's going well. We also added a Native and Strong line. We're the first in the country to have a tribal line, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah,
and
that's very good.
one of the sad things in my heart is July 17th, the federal administration made a decision to remove the LGBTQ plus line.
Really?
Yeah, so
That
that got
surprises me.
removed. So we want to make sure that we're doing things in our state, because the youth, especially trans youth, have a very high rate of suicide. So we want everyone to feel like they have help when they reach out.
Right.
So we're going to address that. But we want to also make sure there's someone to respond, and we're trying to get these rapid response teams that are clinicians or EMS fire that are non-law enforcement. And then we're trying to get like the connections, a place to go. So we're still in that stage of setting up that system.
Right.
And so I really, would like to see that fully implemented throughout the state. King County is ahead of most regions. We're also starting to co-locate the 988 staff with 911 so that they can divert calls to mental health whenever possible.
Would that be a big project, long lasting? I mean, see it happening anytime soon or stretched out?
Implementation, I think it was 3 years ago we passed the bill, and we have a huge progress we've made. I mean, the call lines are really up and running and going really well. And now we're working on the other two components. The other thing is I do a lot with survivors of sexual assault. I worked for years we had like 10,000 untested sexual assault kits in our state. And that was, survivors whose voices were never heard. They never had a path of justice.
Wow.
So we did get those tested, and now we got a high throughput lab that makes sure they're tested within 45 days. But
Are you talking like assault kits? Or?
Sexual assault kits.
Gotcha.
And so that won't happen again in our state. But I've also been working the last couple years on college campuses with the students, because they feel they don't get the services and supports when that happens. And they're a really high-risk group, actually.
Definitely.
And so we've been working on a bill. We got a part of it passed last year to require that they, on their IDs, that they'll have a number to actually get a person, because often they were told, well, you can have an appointment in 7 days. Well, if you're sexually assaulted, you need to, you need help right
You need
away.
it right then and there.
Right then and there. So again, we're trying to make sure our college campuses are safer. We'd like to go back and do more training for the students and the staff, and the students are leading this. We did these forums at 3 of our universities led by students. And
That's cool.
It's a high priority. So I want to keep working on that.
That's great that the students are involved too, though.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing. They are. They're just so awesome. And the other one is AI. I've been working on AI. And so,
As in AI, artificial intelligence?
yes.
Bill. So I heard recently that there was a bill passed where you're not allowed to, what was it, like limit AI for the next 10 years or something crazy like that?
They tried to add that to the federal bill, but I heard it got removed.
Oh, it got
because that
removed.
would put a moratorium where we wouldn't be able to do anything at the state level for 10 years.
I think that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is really crazy.
I mean, I appreciate innovation, but I think
Sure.
our job in government is to keep people safe, and you got to find that balance, right?
I see videos all the time where I'm like, is this real or is this? And there's so much is learned and fed through social media now.
Absolutely.
And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. We had Dick Hell on here again. He was talking about how some kids find outreach. Young LGBTQ plus members, they can find outreach on social media. It can be a dangerous game, but they can find it.
Right.
But when you throw in an element like artificial intelligence, that anybody can create anything and it looks like reality, that's dangerous stuff, in my opinion. I use AI for things. I use AI for this podcast. It is a tool, but yeah, there's a lot of power behind something like that.
Absolutely. And so the two things I worked on is the intimate images, when you're using somebody else's images.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
especially if they're explicit. And it can be very damaging. And it's very hard to ever remove them. So worked on that a couple years ago. Now we're working on non-identifiable children because it's based on real footage, basically, but AI modifies it slightly. And then we're working to make sure, have a bill to say your healthcare denial cannot be based by AI. It needs to be professionals talking to professionals. We don't want AI making all these decisions around our healthcare.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I heard something the other day. Somebody was talking about, I don't really use the chat bots or anything like that. I use different things to help edit and post things and stuff like that. But somebody was telling me that some of the chat bots now, when it gives you an answer, it's so, the voice coming from it is so certain. You know what I mean? It's not like you and I having a conversation where I'll tell you flat out, or you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm not 100% sure what I'm saying, which happens often. But these things are so self-assured when they say it, you know, and you're like, oh, must be a fact. You know, that's dangerous.
one of the things that was shared during the testimony on my bill was there was a national call line to help people with eating disorders. And so they decided they were having trouble hiring, so they used AI. So people were calling, and AI was telling them to go on a diet, which is like the last thing you would tell someone.
That's
right?
crazy.
Fat.
Hampton. I can't control him. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying AI is saying you're a little fat. You know, going to diet. How you gonna tell somebody going to diet?
We're gonna take AI and Hamp off the call. He's old school.
But go ahead.
But no, I mean, you know, it's serious. You know, it's
It
a
is,
serious
yeah.
disorder, and so obviously we want people to get a clinician that actually knows what the best practices are. Right?
It sounds like I had a doctor in my little town I grew up in he was like that. You know, you know, you come in, let's say your mom wants to put you on a diet or something, be like, well, you're fat, stop eating. That'd be the end of it. You know, he was old school. I think he had a horse in the stall and a patient in the room. You know what I mean?
That's just bad.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
totally bad.
AI is dangerous stuff. That's crazy. I had no clue that that was something that was being looked at on a state level, but that's good to hear. Yeah. So how do they, what's the question I want to ask here? How do they regulate that statewide if on a federal level it's not? Does the federal set the pace for the state? Let me ask that first.
That's a really good question, because one of the things is often at the federal level, it takes them years to pass legislation.
Right.
So almost the states end up passing it first, and we set kind of the pace and the tone.
Because you can set a law stricter,
Yes,
but you can't go beyond federal.
that's right.
Okay, so how would you do that with AI?
So with AI, they weren't passing anything at the federal level, right? They weren't putting any safeguards or protections, and so the states stepped in. I actually went to a thing in D.C. where they brought us together working on this because they wanted to help shape it at the state level, but the legislation kept stalling. And, you know, there is a tension. I went down to Stanford and to Google headquarters a couple years ago around AI. And, you know, basically the message is, you know, don't interfere with innovation. And, you know, I appreciate that. But even the professors from Stanford said, well, but you got to have safety.
Yeah.
There's got to be some parameters around this. They seem very worried that there wasn't, you know, some level of regulation on this.
Right. Well, and I mean, you've got everything from it's the next best creation that mankind has done to it'll be the end of us. You know, there's people on every spectrum, and a lot of that comes from, you know, the movies, Terminator and stuff like that. That was all Skynet and AI, right? I mean, it's the first thing that I think about.
I'll be back.
He might already be an android. We don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
He does have a bionic knee now, so. But it's scary stuff, you know. So in that vein, you would be setting laws, basically. So you can't prevent someone from doing something, but if they do it and they're caught, there's a law. There's a safeguard.
And we can step in and give either the civil side or the criminal side consequences to that. And
so it sounds like most of it would be on a harm to a person.
Yes.
Makes sense? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
and
that's
people
good.
have been harmed. I mean, we had high school students, you know, sharing their stories, and it was pretty horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Like they would go to a prom, and all of a sudden, you know, someone got a hold of all the pictures and made them explicit. And you know,
That's crazy, man.
you need to think about how damaging that would be in high school.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
That's
I
funny
mean,
how they can do all that.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, you know.
AI is crazy, man. I mean, I just started learning about it when we started doing this because I'm old school. I used to be in a band, and just coming up with our theme song, I'm like, you know how long it's going to take us to write a song, record a song, produce a song? I'm like, I think there's AI for that. Our theme song is AI. You know, I mean, the shorts that I do, I dump the entire episode into an AI feed, and it cuts. And it's crazy when it cuts it. It tells me this one has more verbiage in it, essentially, that's getting more views on these platforms. You know what I mean? Like, it knows everything.
Right.
It's a great tool, and it is productivity wise, it can save you a lot of time, but
Absolutely.
very dangerous at the same time.
Well, I remember when my AI bill on intimate images was going to be on the floor, and I thought, well, I'll have AI draft the first speech, you know, of the AI bill.
Oh, wow. That's clever. That's clever.
It was actually pretty good. I had to go and modify it,
Yeah.
you know, but it is a good first cut,
Sure.
right? If you're a grant writer, which I did for years, you know, I could see it as a tool. Even at 988, they do training with AI,
Right.
practice training. But
Yeah.
again, I don't think it's a substitute for human beings.
No, and I think 100% I agree with that. And I think the thing that people have to remember is AI is running off of what we're putting into it.
That's right,
You know, so we are essentially feeding what it feeds back to us,
which is a little scary.
which is a little scary. Well, I don't know if you guys heard, you know what Grok is?
No.
Grok is Elon Musk's Twitter, now X. That's his AI.
Oh, okay.
And what they did, at least this is what I heard, I'm not 100% sure. Grok was like any other AI for a long time. You know, you chat it or text it or ask it for an image and it would send it out. They took all the safeguards, I believe, off of it and let it get its knowledge essentially from X. And it got super racist, super crazy, really fast, like insane responses, insane comments coming out of this thing because it was feeding off of X.
That's right.
So I don't know. I heard that. I don't know how true it is. I listen to other podcasts. So yeah. I'd had a moment there. I think they had to, I don't know if they shut it down or what, but it was saying some wild stuff. So that's one that you would like to see something done with. It's currently in works.
Absolutely. And we actually have a statewide committee looking at it too. I kind of started with the intimate images and the healthcare because that's the areas I work in.
It
But
seems like that could be a rabbit hole to go down, though.
Yeah,
Snowball
absolutely.
effect for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas that it will touch indefinitely. So that AI will, I mean.
And it was interesting because I do work groups. So the first year working on the AI bill on intimate images, you know, we were meeting with Amazon and Meta, you know, everyone was at the table. We have all the tech companies and,
Yeah.
you
they're right here.
know, we're just like, they're like, well, we're concerned about this image. And we kept like, well, don't create child explicit images. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like, you just don't create that or don't allow platforms, right? And
Yeah.
so that's that question is, do you punish people who use their platforms or do you have more restrictive platforms that won't be producing it? I mean, it's
Sure.
it's
sure.
tricky.
You know, it's tough too because, you know, we're in America. You want freedom, you want free speech, you want these things, but at the same time, it's a slippery slope, you know. And why does anyone need explicit images of any of those things? You know,
Especially
there's
children. There should
especially
not-
100%. Like,
absolutely.
what good does that do anyone?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
It's crazy again. I would just say it's
I
crazy.
know.
It's a crazy time, dude. Think about what you and I were talking about it the other day, standing on the roof, moving the antenna around so you can watch TV, you know? And now we're asking chatbots to design things for us, man. It's just a crazy time. I don't know. So aside from those things, okay, let me ask this. How long does something like that take to get fully through? Is it a constant evolving thing? Like you're going to pass, you know, the initial form of it, and then there's going to be some changes, and then it's going to go through again. And how does that really work?
It's pretty common when you do really large, complex bills like 988 or foreclosure or anything that's a larger, more complex policy that you'll have to do over years. Like you'll do your best first bill, but then you'll have to come modify it or expand it, and you learn more or things change along the way. So it's not. So I've done a number of bills in those arenas, and with AI, that's true as well. Like I started with the people and then non-identifiable.
Probably the most important thing
right.
to start with, right?
So it is kind of incremental. Some bills you're just like, wow, I got it past the first year.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 years. I worked on the wrongful conviction bill, and I think that took us 4 years to pass it.
Yeah.
And it was hard because people had to keep coming and sharing their stories, and they were heartbreaking.
Yeah.
They were just horrible stories. But we finally got it through so that people could be compensated.
So you're starting these bills?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And usually I'm working with a lot of community leaders, like the Innocence Project. You know, obviously we're a huge lead on the wrongful conviction bill. But yeah, you bring a team together and you make sure that the people that are directly impacted are the ones leading it. I think in my mind, makes the best legislation.
That's a great bill, though, wrongful conviction, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it sits right on out there because some people get sidetracked, let's put it like that.
Well, it's like Harry was saying last week.
That's right. That's what I was thinking.
Lots of good people have bad days, you know, and that's a good statement. He's a defense attorney, you know, and I was asking him, is it hard to defend some of these people? And he said, I don't think of it that way. You know, I think of it first, innocent until proven guilty. And secondly, there's lots of good people that have a bad day. And that's true. You know, I've known some. And it can be a life-changing moment for people, you know.
Yeah, I'd like to see people get second chances.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Second chance is a good thing, you know, because we all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every one of us make mistakes.
For sure.
So that second time around could be a good one.
Well, you learn from the first, right?
Well, we think about growing up, and you're like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For
there's
sure.
a lot of paths we could have gone down, right?
Yeah. I mean, I tell my kids, I tell guys that I train in my industry, you're going to screw up. Own up to it, learn from it, and move on. You know, that's part of life. When you're putting these bills together, I know they can be very large. And I think that I've heard one of the problems with passing these bills is people don't have the allotted amount of time to fully digest the entire bill before voting on it. Is that an issue that you see?
Well, what happens that helps the process is we're all assigned to committees. Like I'm on the healthcare committee, human services, housing. And so the bills that go through your committee, you get to know really well. Like you hear all the testimony. You know, we have really good bill summaries that nonpartisan staff do, and they brief us on bills. And so you tend to know those bills pretty well. And then once they get out of committee, they go through a fiscal committee and then to rules and then to the floor. And by the time they get to the floor, where you're going to be voting them out of either the Senate or the House, your caucus is briefed. And so let's say you weren't on that committee chair is going to tell you, this is what the bill's about. This is the testimony. There are times
They're going
where
to give you the shorthand version.
the shorthand, and you know, there's times where maybe it's a topic, or maybe I'm hearing something that's concerned, and I'll go back and do research, or I'll ask more questions. But we do have that time to kind of digest, and you need to, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm accountable for every vote I take.
Right.
So. Yeah.
And that's where you got to trust each other too, right? Because a lot of times you're going off of what they're telling you. And you might not actually be viewing
if you're
the bill.
led down the wrong path, you do not forget that.
Right. You find out later, you're like, oh, I voted for that.
Yeah.
So you're running for re-election. Let's cover that real quick. What would you like to see? Like, what's your platform going forward? We've obviously talked about the 988. We've talked about the AI bill. Is there anything else? Are these your main focuses right now? Or are you like, man, if I get reelected, this is my next task, my next challenge?
Well, I also just care deeply about K-12. And again, I want to see us do more development of those career tracks for students. And I do think like internships and actually spending time in the community is a good way to do that. And so definitely want to work on that. I get my marching orders from the community. And so I'm already hearing from people of things they want me to work on. And so I start bringing people. I've talked to people who are impacted by Lyme disease, and so I'm starting to research that.
That's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one. It's
really
often
tricky one.
misdiagnosed, and there are best practices. And so, you know, I kind of get on my learning hat and bring together experts and community members. So I'll be working on that this summer. But
you know what? That just actually made me think of something. And while I have you here, I'm going to bring it up. We had Miss Olympics teen in, and lovely young lady. She was running for Miss Washington. Didn't make it this time, but you know, hats off to her. Hopefully the next time. Did not know what we were getting into with that podcast. Found out that she's one of the younger cases to ever be diagnosed with endometriosis. Hard battle fought. At one point, they didn't think that she was going to make it. And I'm sitting here, Hampton and I both. Hampton knows my middle daughter very well. We've been having a lot of medical struggles with her, and a lot of pain, a lot of things. And I mean, she's had every test in the book. And every doctor kept telling her, you're fine. Listen to this young lady sitting across from me, and I said, that sounds like my daughter. Got the name of a specialist, took her there, and she has a test this Tuesday, but after that, I think we're going in for surgery. And our primary care, the OBGYN, the gastroenterologist, nobody even ever brought it up. there may be a path to do some awareness for something like that, because it's, from what I understand, 1 in 10 women have it, and it is commonly not diagnosed.
That's a perfect example. You know, I have done mandatory training bills for physicians and nurses, and there are things that they're not learning in medical school or differential diagnosis. And I feel like that is an area we can make a big impact.
Yeah.
And
I could connect you with Dr. Winter, who's the specialist that we're working with.
that would
right
be
now.
great.
Yeah, because we went and talked to her, and it was like, check, 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 right down the list. And I said, and I was getting upset as a dad. You know, I'm
Because
like,
you knew.
because we knew something was wrong.
Yes.
You know, and I'm listening to my daughter, and these doctors are saying she's fine. And I go to Dr. Winter, and I said, how does this get missed? And she just goes, it does. She's like, this situation is unfortunately very, very common. And it's upsetting to hear that. You know, it's upsetting to hear that Amara, she almost passed away. She went septic. The doctors were telling her parents, make preparations. And she was not diagnosed until, who was it? A nurse, I think?
Yeah, I think she said it was a nurse.
A nurse was like, we're going in, we're doing this. It like overrode the doctors essentially. And that's what it was. Now, my daughter hasn't had her procedure yet, but we're ticking all the boxes right now. And so we're starting to learn about it. And I'm like, how is it that these people that we trust don't know these things, you know?
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Again, I'd love to learn more and work on that, because those are the gaps we need to address. And your stat of 1 in 10, that is heartbreaking that many people are suffering and bouncing around the medical and not getting what they need.
There was a lady that commented on one of the YouTube shorts I put up, and she said she was never diagnosed, dealt with pain her entire life, was told she was fine until she had a hysterectomy at 50. And that's when they found it. So, I mean, that's crazy. That's just crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. My hairdresser has Lyme disease, and her dad did. And she had to go to multiple doctors, emergency departments.
Yeah. I've read up on that. That one's a really difficult one, too.
It affects all your different organs. And
they can't detect it, and it kind of hides as other things for a long time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, and you go to these medical professionals and you think they're going to help you. And they're just people. I understand it. But something like that affects 1 in 10 women, I feel like there should be something.
There should be.
Or at least like, hey, let's check this avenue since everything else checked out. Let's maybe go down this avenue.
Yeah.
Maybe you should broadcast a little bit more after.
Well,
Catwoman,
let's work on it, because I think
quiet them out. People can't hear you.
And that's why I'm bringing it up again and bringing it up to you. And
Absolutely.
I told Lily after she has her procedure, if everything goes the way we think it is going to go, I want to have her on. I might try to get Dr. Winter on to talk about it. I'm going to try to shed some more light on this because it's been really hard for my daughter, especially trying to go to college and stuff. It's difficult.
And probably get you back over here and get all of them,
Yeah. No, I'm sorry to hear that, but I would actually, welcome more information, and I would work on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just your Lyme disease thing made me think of that. So
yeah, I'm vice chair of healthcare, so I work closely with the chair and on topics, and so
that's very cool. I mean, we got a couple testimonies right now. So.
And that's what it takes, right? Is people sharing their stories.
That's what it takes. Testimony, That's what a bunch of people talk about a lot of things. Like I say, if you don't say it, you can't hear it.
Well, it was crazy because, like I said, my daughter has worked with Hamp quite a bit on the truck and helped him out in the restaurant and stuff. And Amara was talking to us, and Hamp's looking at me like, he's like, bro, I'm like, I know, I'm hearing it too.
I might be Catwoman if I were. You need to go home and scoop
my
her
daughter's
up.
nickname, Catwoman. So where can people find all your stuff? We're at about an hour now. I want to make sure that you get all your stuff out there for people to find you, to get in contact with you, to vote for you.
Well, thank you. Well, my campaign email is tina.orwall@gmail.com. And that's a great place to reach me. We'll respond. I'm kind of have a campaign hat, but obviously people can look at my legislative address. But yeah, it's a high priority for me is to get back to people and connect.
Very cool. You have a lot of people seek you out and talk to you and stuff?
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great.
I'm waiting on your next meeting on this.
They usually, reach out to tell you you're doing a good job. There's usually something wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of what we do, right? We have to fix things and make things work for people.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you have in mind to take your place?
We need to build a bench. I think there's 3 or 4 people in the House that I approached to run.
Yeah.
Because I thought you would be so good in the legislature. So I'm always looking for talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Very good. We had one of them in here, Kevin Schilling, we interviewed him.
Oh, excellent.
So, Yeah, he was very, very exciting, very positive guy. So we'll see how he
like
does.
a go-getter.
Yeah, very much did. That went to Coachella, which was pretty cool, and saw Bernie Sanders there. Who would have known?
Whoa.
Yeah, a pretty crazy story. He said he was laying in the grass at Coachella. He said, I want to go connect with some of the younger people, and he was laying in the grass, and he said, exhausted, hot. And he's like, I don't know why more, big politicians don't come and do this to connect to the crowds. And all of a sudden he hears Bernie Sanders' voice from the stage at Coachella. And he's like, well, there you go. So you never know what you're going to find. Awesome, guys. I think that's all I got. Hamp, you got anything?
I don't have anything. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I'm glad we connected.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
No,
of course. We're gonna get together again. I want to see if we
Yes.
can do something with this endometriosis stuff for
Yeah,
the
for
women out
sure.
there.
I'm all in.
Awesome,
There
guys.
you go.
Cool. Thank you, Tina. Appreciate
you.
it. Reach out to us. I will get you some information on all this if you want to use it. And thank you for your time today.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Stick Lounge Podcast.
Yeah.
Joe and Hampton, lights dim, it's game time. Interview sharp, cut through like a shank line. Stick lounge, stories unfold, real and raw. From hustlers to dreamers, breaking laws with a claw. Microphone warriors, capturing life's conflicts. Sitting across legends, tales flick like black pics. Drop bars, not mics, knowledge, it rains. From the streets to the beats in every vein. Stick lounge podcast, tales heavy with the weight. Real lives, gritty stories, never fake. Joe and